Hi, my name is Dyce Kimura. I'm a Fort Lauderdale guitar teacher and worship leader. And today I'm going to show you how to change strings on an acoustic guitar. Okay, so I have my acoustic that I'm going to use today. This is my Dreadnought Martin. And let's walk through what we need to do this. So you're going to want to have a pair of string cutters, wire cutters, some kind of string winder. This is a string winder right here. I'll be using this just to show you how to use it, and just for the sake of speed, I'll also be using this Black & Decker. It's the same deal, it's a string winder. Okay, so let's get started. So go ahead and take out your guitar, and the first thing we're going to do is take these strings off the guitar. So we don't just want to cut them off. We want to loosen the strings and then cut them off, because if I just cut them off, it's a lot of tension that I'm immediately taking off the neck. That is not good. So you're going to take your string winder and you're going to unwind your string a little bit. Like this. If you listen, the pitch should go down. Okay, that should be good. Alright. And I'm going to actually just do this with my power drill. You can use your string winder over there, or you can use the power drill. If you're new at changing strings, which I assume you are if you're watching this video, I suggest you do use the string winder first and get really comfortable with that before you get into the power drill, okay? So let me just show you what I'm doing. Let me just point this camera down here. And what I did was I loosened these strings, you see, and I'm just going to snip them off now, one at a time. These can be very dangerous. Strings are extremely sharp. And you know what, while I have the strings off, I'm going to hunt around for this knob that my son Isaiah grabbed this off my amp and he stuck it in my guitar. I was looking for that. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to take these strings here and I'm going to take off these pegs. I'm just going to pull them out. If your guitar has been sitting there for a long time, or even a number of years, these pegs tend to be extremely difficult to extract. In my case, I often change strings, so it's not the case. But if you can't get the pegs out, what I want you to do is get some kind of tool, like for instance this nail clipper, okay, and just take the blunt end and stick it on the back and push the peg up. So literally, you would just, if I put the peg in, and then I'd push the peg up like that, and that'll take out the peg, okay? So, and then on this side of things, I'm just going to take off these strings. These are the old dead strings. I like to put all my strings in one place and throw them all the way together, because they can terrorize your housemates. They definitely can cut you, and if people step on parts of strings, or if they stab them when they're trying to take out the trash, they could get pretty upset with you. So what I do is I get all my strings together, the short and the long, and I wrap them up. This is just what I do. You don't have to do this, but I do it like this. So it's a nice little cluster of strings, which I throw away. Okay, so let's throw that away. Let me take this opportunity to dust off my guitar, because there's a lot of crap that gets on the inside that you really can't wipe off. My fretboard could use a cleaning too, but that's going to be a different video, so I won't do that today. Just dust this thing off a bit. Alright, so let's put on some new strings, okay? I'm going to put these on. This is a pack of D'Addario 12 gauge, 12 to 53 lights. I buy them by the case. I'll show you guys here. But you get a box of this, it's a set of 10, and they come out like this. So this is one pack, okay? And break the seal. So let me get this started. Now with the D'Addario, you can use whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with. I prefer my strings to be uncoated because I'm old school. You're just going to unravel the string. I tend to like to put all my strings on the base of the guitar, and then I do all the winding. Okay, so just put them on one at a time. Now you're going to find where the 6th string is. On the D'Addarios, they're color coded, so it's easy. For instance, the 6th string is the brass colored string, and then the 5th string is the red string. But if you can see the color code by the redness of the tip. But if you're getting a different brand, it should say on the packaging where your strings are. Okay, so the fattest string is the 6th string, and then it goes down 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1 respectively. Okay, 1 being your thinnest string and 6 being your fattest string. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to do this. You put these on, and what I do is I push this pin down and I pull this tight like that. And that's very important, because when you go to tighten up those strings, if there's a significant amount of slack between the ball of the string, which is here, and the peg here, if this isn't all the way flush, if it's like a little bit up like that inside the guitar, it will either go out of tune easily, or it will give you too much slack on the tuning peg, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay, so here we go. We're almost done with this part. Here's the last string. I slip it in. By the way, I don't know if I explained this. I slip this in the ball bearing like so, and I just let it be flush, and I stick this together in the strings, okay, like so, and then I pull it tight like that. Okay, so here it is. You got all the strings. I don't know if you can see with the glare of the sun, but now let me show you what I do here. Okay, so let me adjust the camera. These are the strings, and now we're going to go up to the head. Okay, so here we are up to the head. Now I just grab this one, and I'm going to, I'm grabbing in my hand the 6th string, the fattest string, and I put on string order 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is what I do. Now what I also like to do, let me just adjust this here, is straighten these out. So I straighten out these pegs so that the holes are pointing straight up and down. You don't have to do this, but it's very helpful if you do. Okay, you can put the strings on without doing it, but it just makes life a whole lot easier if these are straight. Okay, which they are now. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take the 6th string, and I'm going to put it here, which is the 6th hole. Okay, because it goes 6, 5, 4, and then it goes 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you're really not sure about the strings, you can feel free to string it one string at a time. Okay, now here I pulled the string flush. Okay, but I can't leave it there. Okay, I can't leave it flush. I'm gonna have to back it up a little bit. Okay, because I have to calculate for what is going to go on this peg. So what you could do, you got to judge kind of how much distance of wind needs to go on the peg. What I like to do is take about 2 fingers, and see these 2 fingers, and then I push down with my thumb, and this distance, I'll show you sideways, this distance, you see this distance here in the string, is going to be about enough to wrap around the peg appropriately. Okay, so if I pull it out, it's like this distance. Some people just grab the distance from this peg to this peg. They'll just pull it from this peg up to this peg. Either way, I have this extra distance. Okay, this is where the string is flush, and then I have this extra distance, and I'm going to crimp it at that distance. And the reason why I'm adding this extra distance, once again, is because I need to have something to go on the actual string peg. when I wind these strings, I'm going to wind them from top to bottom and from outside to in. This first wind I'm going to use the winder, and then for the sake of time, I'm going to use a power drill. Okay? So, using the winder, you got to make sure you're turning it the right way. Okay? That's why I said if you really don't know what's going on, you might want to change your strings one string at a time. Of course, if you already cut them off, it's too late. But maybe for later, for next time. And I'm just making sure, as I wind this, if you can see, I'm making sure that I always wind this underneath the next coil. Okay, so the very last coil coming out of the bottom is going to be at the very bottom of the coils and not the top. Okay, so all the strings are going to, I'm just tightening, you can hear it just tightening. Watch me play the string with my thumb. And there it is. And that's how it's supposed to look. And by the way, you can see that the right amount of winds is going to be about 2.5. Okay, so with the camera if you can see that, but that is perfect. Okay, so that's that. Now let me do the rest of these with a power drill, just for the sake of moving things along a little bit faster. Trying to get the right angle here for you guys. Alright, so now I'm going to put the 5th string in. I'm going to put it in through the peg. I'm going to be moving a lot faster now. So just watch me. And I measured 2.5 fingers. So you see with my left hand, 2.5 fingers. I crimp the string up and crimp the string on this side. And with the, now I'm going to use a power drill. Done. Okay. 4th string, take it, wind it through. 2.5 fingers, I crimp it and crimp it, and drill it in. It's done. Okay. Obviously this thing gets actually pretty quick. I can have a whole new set of strings on and tuned up and stretched out in usually about 10 minutes or so. Okay, put this on. By the way, if this video is helping you, feel free to hit like or share this video on your Facebook or subscribe, and also I welcome your comments and your input. Okay, now for the 2nd and 1st string I'm about to do, I need a little bit more than 2 fingers. I actually put more like 3 or 4 fingers. See that? Because the string is thinner, so more of the string needs to go on the peg. And I crimp it like I did. Obviously there's a lot more string on. And there it is. And the last one, put this on the same way. I'm using a lot more string. I see how many, I got 4 fingers now underneath the string. Actually, this just slipped. The 1st string is the hardest string to put on because it's so thin. I just had to back that up because it didn't quite go right. That's it. Alright, so this is what it looks like at the base. Here's what it looks like at the head. Obviously now we got a whole bunch of strings dangling around. So let me go ahead and cut these. I'm just going to cut them right at the base, okay? Careful not to cut the actual string, but just the tips, okay? Just clean this up. I like my guitars nice and cleaned up. Some people, they refuse to cut these strings, or they'll curl them up into winds, but in my personal opinion, I don't tend to like that look. Now, as for a tuner, I'm going to use this snark tuner. Okay, I'm going to use a snark tuner to tune my guitar. Okay, so I just put this at the head and tune it up. These are really easy to use. They're like $9.99 on Amazon. And we're going to tune to E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay, this is not a tuning lesson. This is just a string lesson, so I'm not going to go into depth about tuning, but the notes are E, A, D, G, B, E. So now it's in tune, okay? But we're not done there. We got one more step is we got to do is stretch these out. Okay, and stretching them out, I'm going to play them really hard and I'm going to stretch them out. So I'm playing them hard. I'm just going to literally take a pick and I'm just going to play them furiously. Up top and then behind the nut. Okay, the reason why I have to do that is because there's all these little grooves and teeth in the strings and they get caught when you're putting them on in the way they're comfortable, but with aggressive playing that all gets shaken up, and often that's what makes people go out of tune, because it comes loose, it gets shaken, and then it moves. Now I'm going to stretch these out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to put it underneath the string, and this hand on top of the string. I'm going to push and pull each string, not a whole lot, just about 1/8 of an inch every one. And this will keep my guitar in tune. Okay, you don't want to overstretch, that will kill your vibration. You want to do it just right. Okay, so let me just, now I'm going to retune. Let's just see this, sorry. Retune. Okay, I'm going to do one more stretch. And I often like to do this behind the nut too. I'll just push. It's another stretch. And I'll tune. And as you can hear, it's like a half a step off. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, now this is the new strings. All right, so I hope that was helpful to you, and feel free to comment and share and like. And I'll see you guys in the next video.